Hello, this is Father Eric Vowles on this fifth session of Catechism with Father Vowles. And for those of you who may be new to this or watching this after the live broadcast, and hopefully eventually on our YouTube channel, which I hope to be able to upload this today, what we're doing is we're going through the To Be a Christian, the Anglican Catechism for the Anglican Church in North America. In my diocese, the Anglican Diocese of Fort Worth, I'm the rector of All Saints Anglican Church in Weatherford, Texas. And while we're especially stuck here during the coronavirus and most people are home, we're trying to put together some content to give us some teaching and some instruction and hopefully a little entertainment in the process. So we're going through the Catechism, and we are in the second part of the Catechism. And today we're going to be talking about Catechism question 44 and maybe 45, but specifically 44 today. The Catechism question 44, goes like this. What does it mean that God created both heaven and earth? This is an interesting question for us because I think a lot of Christians are confused what it means that God created all things. The Latin word we use to describe how God created all things is ex nihilo. Ex nihilo, the Latin word, means out of nothing. And for many of us humans, it's kind of difficult for us to understand that and to really come to grips with how that can be. And here's the deal. There's a certain amount of God's being, God's creative power, that is complete mystery to us. We'll never fully understand it. And how could we? We are the creatures. He is the creator. One resource, oca.org, so I give an attribution, has a lot of explanations of the ancient Christian faith and really the basics of the Christian faith. OCA stands for Orthodox Church in America. The Anglican Catholic way of things, our Anglo-Catholic tradition, is very close to the Eastern Orthodox tradition, except in our Western liturgies. So a lot of their explanations are quite good and give us some detail that I think are very important. Ex nihilo, according to oca.org, describes it like this, and this is pretty interesting. I hope you'll enjoy this. In the very beginning, there was nothing. Nothing at all. There was neither time nor space, neither matter nor energy, neither life nor death. There were no galaxies, no stars or planets, nor were there molecules, atoms, or any of the vast array of subatomic particles that constitute physical reality as we know it. There was nothing. The concept of nothingness is impossible for us to grasp. Nothingness suggests a void, an emptiness, beyond, bound by something. Yet nothing existed to circumscribe that void or provide contrast to that emptiness. Nothingness is not just the absence of being. It is its denial, its rejection. It is an absolute negation, immeasurable and incomprehensible. It is non-existence, non-being, a negative power that by its very nature is devoid of all meaning, purpose, or hope. As such, nothingness finds its closest human analogy in despair. This is how mortal would see this. It says this, but then suddenly, in the beginning, and of course we know from Genesis, in the beginning God created. From the Creed, we see that God created. Then suddenly, in the beginning, there was something. In that timeless moment, from a locus that transcends every notion of space or dimension, God created ex nihilo, out of nothing. He fashioned being from non-being, space, time from non-existence. Out of that beginning, God, who is himself the arche, or ultimate beginning, principle, and source of all that is, brought forth the heavens and the earth. From the perspective of our catechism question, our catechism responds this way. It means that all things, whether visible or invisible, physical or spiritual, were brought into being out of nothing by the word of the eternal God, Jesus Christ himself. We see this in Genesis chapter 1, which reads, in the beginning God created heaven and earth. The earth was invisible and unfinished, and darkness was over the face of the deep. The Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the water. Then God said, let there be light, and there was light. God saw the light, and it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. God called the light day, the darkness he called night, and there was evening and morning one day. So we have this account from the book of Genesis, which talks to us about how God created. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. What this means for us is that God is Lord of heaven and earth. God is Lord of earth and sky and moon and seas and waters and creatures, and especially over the crown jewel of his creation, us. God is our source. God is the pinnacle. God is the ultimate beginning of all things. Now, of course, God is an eternal being, neither beginning nor end. But all of creation, heaven and earth, has a beginning. It has an end. Now, in our sinfulness and in the sin influence of the world after Adam and Eve fell into sin, brings us to the reminder that God has promised, though, to restore this creation. We call this the new heaven and the new earth, and we await that blessed day when he will come again and create all things new. So I hope you enjoy and have firm reality in the beauty of God's creation, that God created both the heavens and the earth, meaning all things, whether visible or invisible, physical or spiritual, were brought into being out of nothing by the eternal word of God. Hope you have a blessed day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at noon as we go and discuss the 45th question. Was the world that God created good? Have a blessed day.